In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this amazing voice AI agent army that will automate every aspect of your personal life and your business life. Because I'm lazy, I don't like typing, so that's why all of my interaction will be just with my voice using Telegram trigger. I'm also going to show you how you can add ElevenLabs voice agent from the front end, so that way you can interact with this from there as well. This main agent, commander agent that I referred to, has access to multiple different agents that it can call to. So for example, it has access to a personal expense agent that will have all of your personal history for your business. So you can always reach out to this particular agent to retrieve any information related to your personal expenses or your business expenses. It has access to another agent called the company knowledge agent, and all of your company data, your company board contact, the company frequently asked questions, and others are all sitting right here. So that way we can always reach out to this agent from our main agent to retrieve any information related to our company. This will also have access to the research agent, meaning that it'll have access to Wikipedia, SERP API, Hacker News, so that way we can get information about any relevant news or anything related to research. It also has access to an email agent to all of email related activities like sending email, replying email, labeling emails, creating a draft. Getting all the emails will be done through this agent, and we'll also have a calendar agent, so that way we can set up meetings, delete meetings, get any meetings that are on our calendar, and then also update any meetings with additional information. Again, this is going to be all operated through this main agent, and I'm going to walk through how you can build this, how to prompt this, how to efficiently prompt this, so that way it reaches out to the proper agents based on the request that the user is giving to. It will also respond to us not only with text, but it will also respond to us via a voice using ElevenLabs that I'm going to walk through and show you how it's done. So let's go ahead and start with the demo, and then I'm going to come back and walk through the different agents and how the prompting is very, very important when it comes to building an AI commander agent like this that will have the ability to reach out to different agents to retrieve the information that the user is asking. All right, so let's go ahead and do a demo. I'm gonna actually use my cell phone here, but I'm gonna pull up the Telegram so that way you can see exactly what's going on. I already interacted with this earlier when I was checking it, but let's go ahead and click on test workflow. So I'm gonna delete this right now. Let's go ahead and start with our personal expenses right now. I will ask it a question related to personal expense. How much did I spend on marketing efforts in the last quarter of 2024? So I'm going to send that. It's going to process the voice. It's going to transcribe it. It's going to reach out to OpenAI chat model. As you can see, it's reaching out the personal expense agent, and it's going to reach out to that, grab that information from that agent. It's going to use OpenAI to process that request. And as you can see right here, I got the information saying in Q4 of 2024, you spent a total of $3,350 on marketing efforts. That includes all of this. And again, all of this is coming from our personal expense agent, which is right here, right? So all of that information is sitting on our vector database here, all of our expenses that we did in the previous year, the last quarter. So that's why it's able to retrieve that information directly from here. And if I go at the execution here, so you can see this was performed on the 4th of March at 6:54 p.m., which is right now. And as you can see, everything got processed. So if I go inside this, you can see right here, this is the output, which we're receiving now back to our main agent here. And this is sending us or responding this to us via our Telegram bot. And it's also sending us a little voice message. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
In Q4 2024, you invested $3,350 in various marketing channels, including digital advertising and website maintenance.
There you go. So as you can see, it provides not only a nice, well-written response back to us, but it also sends us like a little voice to give us a summary of what that request or what the response was from our main agent. So that's our personal expense. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our company knowledge base. So basically the agent right here, same thing. This has access to our Airtable. So that way it has information about our company board members, their contact information, who they are. And it also has the company frequently asked questions, which is again sitting on our Pinecone vector database. So I'm going to go ahead and call that, and we should be able to retrieve this information from here if everything works here, because again, last time, as you saw, it reached out to personal expense agent. So now I'm going to send it a command. It should know automatically to reach out to the company knowledge base, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to test the workflow, bring it up. how can I join the AI workshop community? If you can tell me a little more information about the school community. So I'm sending that information now, and it's transcribing it again. So it's going to reach out to the commander. There you go. Now it's reaching out to the company knowledge base, right? Because, and I didn't do anything, right? I sent it that information via my voice, and it knows exactly which agent to reach out to, and it sends me an information. And as you can see here, it says to join AI workshop school community, you should visit their website to explore membership option and join the community grants you blah, 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 right? And it also gives you like a nice little voice message as well.
To join the AI workshop school community, visit their website for membership options that provide access to learning resources, expert guidance, and industry connect.
There you go, right? So again, knows exactly to reach out to company knowledge base. Earlier reached out to personal expense base, expense agents. So let's go ahead and take a look at the company knowledge base now and take a look at the execution. So this was the last execution. As you can see, it was at 4:56 p.m. There you go. I reached out to the proper tool here and the agent, and it sent that information back to us. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test setting up a meeting, because this is a really good one too. So when we ask it to set a meeting with somebody or send an email to somebody first, it's going to reach out to our contact database to grab that person's information, and then it's going to reach out to the official or the appropriate agent to be able to set up that meeting. So let's go ahead and test that. So I'm getting the same thing. I'm going to click on test. Can you please set up a meeting with John Doe tomorrow at 3 p.m.? So I'm sending that. There you go. It's getting transcribed. So now it's going to reach out to contact database, right? So that's our proper agent to grab that contact for John Doe. And now it's going to reach out to the calendar agent to set up that meeting for us. And it's going to send us a confirmation, and we'll take a look at our calendar to make sure it knows exactly which calendar to reach out to. And there you go. It says the meeting with John Doe is successfully scheduled for tomorrow at 3 p.m. You can view the event details here, and it sounds you like a nice little voice as well. So let's go ahead and first take a look at let's listen to the voice first.
Meeting with John Doe scheduled for tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Perfect. So that's good to go. So now let's take a look at our calendar. And at 3 p.m. John Doe meeting, and the email was sent to john@gmail.com, right? I tested this earlier, so that's why there's one at 1 p.m. as well. But as you can see, it works properly. It knows exactly which agent to reach. So now let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what's going on, how to prompt this, because prompting is extremely important here. And then I'm going to walk through the different agents to show you exactly how to build this thing and how to create this for your own personal use case. All right, so first thing is first, obviously, we're listening to our Telegram trigger. I've done plenty of tutorials for this, so if you want to take a look at that, watch my previous videos. But essentially, we're listening for that Telegram trigger, and now we want to have this switch node so that way we can process the text or the file. So whether it's a text message or a file message, you'll be able to process each one. If it's a text message, it's going to go directly to the commander agent using this set text, because we need to make sure that the response is the same whether it's coming in from our voice or our text here. So on the top, this will be our voice. So we're going to grab that voice, transcribe it using OpenAI, and we're going to send it to our main commander agent. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the commander agent inside and see exactly what's going on here. So same thing, the system prompts. So it's very important to keep your prompts extremely simple as possible. And the great thing about having the ability to attach these separate agents as separate workflows within n8n, within your commander agent, is that you will be able to ship off all the different tasks that's related to that particular tool to that agent. And the best way to do that is just give your main agent the instruction to use this agent for this purpose, right? Very, very simple. So that's why I like to always keep things very simple, start simple, and then go ahead and keep adding if you see that something's not working. So in this case, I am keeping this prompt extremely concise because I want to make sure that there's no room for hallucination, there's no room for confusion for this particular main agent. So I'm just basically telling it that you're a personal assistant, your role is to delegate the user queries to the appropriate tools, right? So what I'm doing here is now I'm giving it all these tools that it has availability to. The email agent, so handles all email related tasks. Calendar agent manages calendar events, including scheduling updates, blah, blah, blah. Contact agent finds updates or add contact information. Calculator, company knowledge agent, research agent, and expense agent, right? So keeping it very simple and very easy for this agent to understand. And I'm giving it a date, and also I'm telling it the information dependency to make sure that whenever a certain task requires looking up a different agent before, like for example, like in a calendar agent, right? If a user is asking to set up a calendar event with somebody, first it needs to reach out to the contact database agent and then reach out to the calendar agent, right? So that's what you're doing. You're keeping it very, very simple. So now each of these different agents, so this is done via calling separate workflow. So if I go ahead and do search for workflow, there you go. So this is the main call n8n workflow tool. So all of this is basically this right here, this tool right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at inside, for example, our company knowledge base, right? So our company knowledge base, same thing. You're naming it. You want to make sure that the name matches properly, so that way the agent doesn't get confused. And you're just putting a description when to call this tool, right? So I'm saying call this tool for any company knowledge base related actions or activities or whatever it may be, right? That's why I said start simple, keep testing it. If you see that it gives you some kind of a problem, change it. The database, the source is going to be database, and then from the list, I'm giving it this nice little agent army name for my other agents, so that way I know exactly when to pick. So for this particular one, I named it company FAQ, right? So it's this one that we're selecting. And if I go to my right here and go back to editor, so this is what's happening, right? I'm reaching out to this particular agent. So inside this agent now, I'm giving this a same thing, very simple instruction. I'm saying you're a company knowledge base assistant. Your role is to provide accurate and relevant information using the tools available to you. So this agent also has 3 tools available to it, right? So if I get out, it has the company board, which is our Airtable, and a company board contact information, and then also this company FAQ Pinecone vector database that I attached or I provided using this tool right here. So inside this tool, same thing, you're providing a description, you're giving it a name, and you're telling it exactly when to use this thing, right? So if I go now back inside my main company knowledge base agent, so same thing, I'm saying your company knowledge base assistant, your role is to provide accurate, relevant information using the tools that you have available. Which tools? Now we need to identify which tools. It has access to company board contact, retrieve contact details for company's board of directors. Company board, access background information on board members. Company FAQ, provide answers from company's FAQ on knowledge base. So again, earlier when I reached out to this particular agent to retrieve information about the AI workshop school community, and know exactly to reach out to the company FAQ Pinecone vector database. And if I go to my Pinecone vector database, this is the index that it's using, and you can see it has the vector database of all of their frequently asked questions and general information about the AI workshop company, the school community, and all of that good stuff, right? And so the way to do this, the way to add this is very, very simple. You just head over. So let me grab my RAG example here. So if I go to classroom section, deep dive topic, it's right here. There you go. So this is very, very simple. So if I just download this RAG JSON, and I'll show you exactly how to bring that up. So let me go ahead and import it now. Import from file. And there we go, right? So what I'm doing is adding this, I'm downloading the file from my Google Drive. So that company knowledge base is sitting on my Google Drive here. I'm adding it to Pinecone vector database. And as you can see, it is being added. So this was the one for my personal expenses, because for my personal expenses, where'd it go? This one right here. So I did the same thing. I added it to my Pinecone vector database. So if I go back here, you will see I have 3 indexes here. One is the AI workshop FAQ. Another one is the personal expenses, and then also my credit card transaction that I'll show in a little bit. So as you can see, from a personal expenses, same thing. All of the information related to personal expenses is sitting on this particular agent here. And if I go inside my Pinecone vector database, so as you can see, I'm grabbing this Pinecone index and adding this file called AI workshop business expenses, or which are my personal expenses and business expenses kind of in the same document. So that's being added to this Pinecone vector database, and therefore I can have now access to it from my agent right here, right? So that's what's happening. So every time you see a Pinecone vector database as a tool, that's what's happening. I am adding that information first to my Pinecone vector database, and then now this agent is able to retrieve that information based on the commands that are coming in from this particular commander agent. That's why I call it commander agent, right? So that's how this thing basically retrieves that information. So once the information is brought from, or is retrieved from that vector database or the tools that it has attached to. So we're sending this back to our main agent using this set node, because this main agent is always looking for a response from all these separate sub agents. It's looking for a response parameter, right? So that's why you want to make sure at the end of all of your sub agents you have this edit node that says response, and you're just outputting the JSON output that's coming in from this main, or from this agent right here. So that's what's happening there. And the same thing as far as our research agent. So our research agent has access to internet, so it has tools such as the Wikipedia, SERP API, which is basically all of the search engines. It has Hacker News, so that way if you want to get information about a particular news, then you can reach out to this agent. So let's go ahead and test that out too, actually, because I didn't test that out earlier. So let's go ahead and test workflow. So now I'm going to say, what's the latest news related to OpenAI? So now it should reach out to that research agent right here if it knows. There you go. It did, right? So it reached out to the research agent, and now it's going to retrieve all of the news that's related to OpenAI, and it will send us that information. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how this retrieves that information from that sub agent that it reached out to, right? So let's go ahead and let it finish processing. Okay, there you go. So now I received all of this information, all of these news. Here are some of the latest news articles related to OpenAI. Introducing next-gen AI, a consortium advanced, blah, blah, blah. So you can see it sent me the last 4 articles about OpenAI, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at our, where'd it go? Which one is it? Research agent right here. So now if we go to the execution, it should have the last one. If I click on this, and perfect, there you go. So it reached out to SERP API, it used SERP API. So if I go inside this, you can see here some of the latest news article introducing next-gen AI. So perfect, right? It reached out to SERP API to grab information related, or the latest information related to OpenAI. So as you can see, it's working perfectly. So let's go back inside the editor. So let me show you what's the, so same thing, keeping it very, very simple, keeping it very concise, so that way there is no room for hallucination, there's no room for confusion. And that's why I always suggest, always start simple and then test the different prompts if you see that there's some kind of an issue that's happening. So same thing when it comes to setting up a calendar agent, it's very simple. Same thing right here. Let me go back here. There you go. Calendar agent, same thing. This is your main agent. You're just telling it, hey, you have access to all these different tools that you can utilize. Now, the great thing is that recently, n8n created an update that makes everything extremely simple. So for example, if we go to create events, so this is what I did last time, right? As you can see, I'm not even using any from AI or anything in the start and attendees summary, none of it, because now we use this little, you can see right here, these little 3 stars, which is basically you letting the model define everything automatically. So it just makes it very, very simple. I don't have to type anything. So I'm just gonna, you just click on this thing. So let me actually do that. Let me get out of this. If I press on the cross button. So it's basically that from AI, but now it's even simpler because I'm literally clicking on this, and now the model will automatically figure that out. It will automatically define the role itself. So if I go to execution now, there you go. Last time I reached out to it, right? Because I wanted to set up a meeting with John Doe. So it basically reached out to create event with attendee because I specified John Doe. And as you can see right here, it properly figured out the start date, the end date, or the start date and time, end date and time, the attendees, and summary, right? So all of that was done automatically. I did not define anything. I didn't have to write any from AI function. It automatically detected everything based on the query that the user was asking. So you can see this makes it very, very simple and very, very powerful now. So now if we go back to our main agent, again, the response that's coming in here, we're sending this to 2 routes. One is we're sending it directly to our Telegram. We're identifying the session ID right here, the chat ID, and we're sending this JSON output that's coming in from our main agent. On this step, to generate this voice, so if you have seen my previous videos, for example, I did a Jarvis one, so let me actually bring that here to show you exactly. So the way I'm doing this is I am Okay, let me download this, bring it over here. All right, so there's a bunch of error, but basically I grabbed this from right here. I grabbed these 3 nodes and added it to my main agent here. So to go over this, I'm adding this basic LLM chain. Inside this, I'm keeping the prompt very simple. I'm saying your personal assistant respond with a summary of the following in one shortened sentence, right? And you can play around with this prompt if you wanted to do more. So for example, when I did Jarvis, the Jarvis is a bit more complicated. So this is because I'm giving it a persona of Jarvis, but in this particular scenario, I'm not doing anything. I'm just literally telling it to summarize the response that we're getting, because I don't want it, this to read all of this in the voice text for me. So that's why I just want the summary, right? So as you can see, the output from this is very simple and 1 sentence summary. And I'm using Anthropic here. So this node is where I'm converting this text to speech using ElevenLabs. So again, if you want to see the step-by-step on this, I did this inside my community. So check out the live build right here, the live build of Jarvis, where I go through step-by-step and show you exactly how to attach a voice, any voice, to convert this text that's coming into speech. So essentially, I'm using this HTTP request node. I'm sending a post request to ElevenLabs API, and you can grab the ElevenLabs API from their documentation. Is very simple. You create an authentication, and then you send these headers and the body. On the body, I'm stringifying this JSON so that way there's no errors. So that's exactly what's happening here. And now this converts it to a voice, and this will send this voice back to me via this node called the message audio, where I'm grabbing this voice, this data file, and I'm basically sending it back to my Telegram. And that's why you can see that it responds with voice. So that's why I was saying that you can actually completely automate this and not use any text at all. So I'm asking it a question, I am querying it with my voice, and it's sending me a voice back, right? So it's kind of hands off. I don't have to type anything. Even if you don't want to read anything, you could just be very lazy and just interact with this all with your voice. So that's what's happening here. Anyway, so that was through the Telegram trigger. Now, if you want to interact with this, for example, with another voice agent from ElevenLabs, for example, right? So you could do that as well. So if you just go to ElevenLabs here, if you go to home, and if you go to conversational AI and you go to agents, so this is where you can now send actually that information, that request from this directly. So that way you're interacting with this just through your phone or through your computer, right? And I did a bunch of these. So for example, if you go to so inside my deep dive topics, I did all of these voice AI agents. So this is an entire series I did on how to interact with your AI agents in n8n via this voice from ElevenLabs, right? So let me go ahead and actually download this one, for example, so that way you can see. Joe's Diner, this is the one, yep. Actually, this one. Let me grab this template file here. I'll go back. Let's get rid of this. Import. All right, so here's what's happening. So you can essentially just grab this, right? So if I just grab this, copy, I could bring it here, and now I can directly interact with this from my webhook that's coming in, right? So I can interact with this, or you can, because now we're not transcribing this thing, we don't have to attach it here. We can directly attach it to our main agent, because now we can tell the main agent to grab all of this information that's coming into us, right, from the front end, which in this case is going to be our voice AI here through ElevenLabs, and you can interact with this directly from your webhook URL. The way to do this is you attach this webhook URL to your voice agent here. And again, I did this step by step, so please feel free to check that out, the previous information or the previous tutorials that I did. And I'm sending all of that, actually, you know what, it's this one. Yeah, there you go. So I'm sending all of that information to that via this voice AI agent in the front end through ElevenLabs. And as you can see on the bottom here, I'm sending this as tools. So every time you click on this tool, you can add a separate tool. So that way now you're sending all of this information via that webhook. And as you can see right here, this is where I'm putting that webhook that is going to send that data right here. So now you can basically send all of this information, or absorb all of this information that's coming into you via webhook, and you can attach it to your command and agent, and it's going to be the same exact thing, right? You're just going to be able to send that information through your voice. It's going to go ahead and process that, because now we're going to grab the query directly from our webhook, and it's going to respond back to our webhook from the same exact agent, right? So very, very simple. There's several ways. I just love using Telegram because Telegram is great. It has a lot of privacy, and it's very easily accessed via phone, especially if you're using this for your own personal use case. But anyways, hopefully this was not too long and not too complicated. Again, I have done several kind of live builds on the voice side of things. So if you want to check it out, join the community. And again, if you're serious about learning how to build amazing AI agents, make sure you join the community, because we have not only all of the lessons and all of the templates are available in classrooms, but on top of that, you have call recordings, live builds. There's multiple live builds that are being done on a weekly basis. So for example, Chase is doing live builds on Wednesdays. Alexandra is doing live builds on Thursdays. There's tech support calls with me. Alex is doing business strategy calls. So there's lots of valuable information for you to grab, and then also again be part of the amazing community. There's 756 members right now who are all passionate about learning how to build no-code AI agents with n8n. Again, I'm going to put the link in the description. Hopefully I'll see you inside. Make sure you like and subscribe the video, because I've got a lot of content that are coming up that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one.